Well, what's up again there, guys? Brian53, Topics Gamer, and I'm here to share you another one of my awesome ranking videos to share with you guys today. Now that we are well into 5 years into the PlayStation 5's lifespan, and with the PlayStation 6 certain to come out in, I'd have to guess about 2.5 years, I just thought now would be a really good time for me to actually go back and look at a good collection of PlayStation 5 exclusive titles, not counting PC, because PC's something else, and I prefer to not focus on games that are cross-platform, but there are some that they're just too good that you can't ignore, and just get my overall rankings on how this generation has gone so far. So if you do happen to enjoy this ranking video by the end, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Keep tracking me on all my future videos. And remember, if you guys have any ideas for any reactions or rankings or reviews or just discussion videos in general, please let me know what you would like to see in the comments down below, and I will try to get it up to you as soon as I can. Now, I just want to give you a heads up that I did not make this tier list, someone else did. And I did have to add a couple of games that weren't there, adding now. And I do think this is a pretty solid collection of games. But yeah, the way I would rank them is games that are must own, which are games that I personally do own. Great titles, games I thought were okay, games that I didn't like. And then there's definitely a lot of games on here that I just flat out didn't play. So let's knock those ones out first. One, I have no idea what that is. I'm not a Demon's Souls fan, did not play that. Didn't even know that came out. Don't play Gran Turismo. Wow, this list is off to a great start. Didn't play that. Didn't play the cat game. I hate Final Fantasy VII Remake, or whatever the hell they call it. That was a disaster by the looks of it. Didn't play that. And I think that's about it. Everything else in here, yeah. Alright, so let's go down the list. Astro's Playroom. Underestimated. Great title, even though it's technically, you have to download directly to PlayStation 5. Great title. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I actually played Playroom after I played Astrobot, and I have quite a lot to say about Astrobot when I get to that game. Next, Horizon Forbidden West. This is a must-own. I really enjoyed it. I bought the collector's edition for it. I really liked it. Overall, if I had to compare it to Zero Dawn, I think Zero Dawn has a better story. I do think the gameplay overall was vastly improved in Forbidden West. So yeah, this is definitely a must-own title. And it also goes the same for Burning Swords. Burning Swords, I think, is a good DLC. But there are a couple of story elements that I didn't really care too much about. But overall, I did think it was a great expansion. I think they've really knocked it out of the park, Guerrilla Studios, when it comes to the expansions for the primary games. Next, God of War Ragnarok. This is absolutely a must-own title. This is another game that I also bought the collector's edition for. It is my new favorite God of War game. It's another member of my 10 out of 10 club. And I just thought they did a fantastic job. I thought the story was great. I thought the gameplay was very improved. It didn't feel like a massive improvement over God of War 4, but I do think it was enough to kind of give it that edge and also welcome it into the 10 out of 10 club for me. So yeah, I really loved God of War Ragnarok. Next, Ghostwire. I liked this, but I didn't love it. It had an interesting premise. I just think the story was just a little bit hard to get into. I think without question, Ghostwire's best factor is its gameplay style. It's very, very unique. If you have not had a chance to really look at some gameplay of this, I would suggest you go do that, because this is a really interesting looking game. And it's even made better the fact that it's set in Tokyo. But yeah, I just think the story was just, it wasn't direct enough for me to really be too engaged in it. But I did like it. Next, we have Kenya. This is another game. I liked it, but I didn't love it. I thought the premise was okay. I thought the gameplay was fine. Visually, it was fine. It was a pretty good hack and slash game, kind of, but it was like a really good adventure game. So yeah, I'll do there. Oh dear, I'm gonna be crucified for this. What the fuck do I do with this one? I at least beat this game. Okay, I mean, I really want to put in I didn't like it. But I'm like, design-wise, I did think Miles Morales, oh god, it's hard to say. It's like, mechanically it's fine. I just don't like Miles. I just think he's too OP and it hurt the game. But like, it's not enough that I think it's well above these games, and it's not a game I didn't like. But I'm like, I kind of wish there was something in between great title and okay. but I'll say overall it's like bottom tier great title, but it's not something I would go back and want to play a second time. I platinumed it once and I don't want to play it again. Next, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. That's a tough one. That is definitely a must-own title. Would I put it over Horizon? Yeah, I would. I would put it over Horizon. This, in my opinion, was like the first. Well, maybe it was like either the first or second truly great PlayStation 5 exclusive title. I absolutely love Rivet and Kit. I hope they get their own game. Like Ratchet and Clank can go their own paths, but like they introduced these two new characters in Rivet and Kit. I would love for them to have their own game. I just think the story and the dynamic between the two teams was very, very well handled. I thought the gameplay was absolutely fantastic. They had new game mechanics that were new to Ratchet and Clank that I had a great time. Visually, it was absolutely stunning. This was a fantastic Ratchet and Clank game. Easily either the best or its second best, in my opinion, in the entire franchise. Next, Returnal. Returnal's a great title. I would definitely put that over Astrobot. The thing I like about Returnal is I think behind another game on this list, Returnal is, maybe. I think Returnal, gameplay-wise, is very, very great, but I think without question the best factor of it is that it is without question one of the best games that actually uses the DualSense controller and all its functions to maximum effect. And I think that's like the one element that I think a lot of these PlayStation exclusive games don't do. I mean, this controller can do some really incredible things and they don't really take full advantage of it. Few games do, and Returnal is definitely one of them, and I really enjoyed it. And I thought the story was also great, and the fact that it can kind of play out different ways depending on how many times you replay it was a really, really great factor and was something that had me coming back and replaying it multiple times. So yeah, this was definitely a great title. Sackboy. I thought it was just kind of okay. I'm not really the biggest Little Big Planet fan, but I do acknowledge it. But yeah, it was fun playing it for a little bit, but it was just kind of okay. The Last of Us shouldn't even be on this list, but I don't like The Last of Us. Now here's the thing. I don't like The Last of Us because I've said this multiple times. I personally hate The Last of Us, but I don't hate The Last of Us because I have a problem with it. I hate The Last of Us because of people's reaction to it. Years ago, when this game first came out, I was getting death threats because I didn't love the game. I openly said that, heck, the story is too predictable. The gameplay is fine, visually it's fine, but the story is so predictable that I could predict everything that was going to happen 2 minutes before it to happen, and because of it, I thought it was a very weak story. And because I said that, people were coming at me, and they were saying all kinds of death threats and racial slurs and saying I wasn't a true PlayStation fan, and that is what caused me to hate The Last of Us. But again, overall, I think it's a well-made game, but I just hate it because of people's reaction to it. That's all I have to say on the matter. Next, we have Hogwarts Legacy. Oh, this is a great title. Easily the best game. I'm not sure this is even exclusive. I'm pretty sure this is on Xbox and Switch. But if it puts it to tier, I would put it as a great title. Easily the best game that has ever been associated with the Harry Potter franchise. I hope they make a second one, and it was just fantastic. Being to pick your house, going on all these kind of crazy adventures. There's just so much to do and so much to see. It was just an absolutely fantastic game to play through. Next, we have Helldivers. Helldivers, I'm going to put that in okay. This is a game that I really liked at first, but it got really, after like playing this for like 3 to 4 months, the game just got repetitive and I just stopped playing, and I have no interest in ever going back. But I do think you can, I would probably rank this higher if I had like a group of friends that we would always come back and replay this. Like, this easily could have been a game that is in the position of where there's like a certain return game that I'll play in between new releases. If I had a good group of friends to play this with, I would probably rank it higher, but because I don't, I would just have to put it in okay. Next, Silent Hill. Okay, this I definitively didn't like. I streamed my reaction to this. Now here's me. I am not a Silent Hill fan. I'm a Resident Evil fan and a Dead Space fan. This was my first time experiencing Silent Hill, and it wasn't a good one. I had multiple problems. I mean, I couldn't get past the first 2 hours of this game before I was just like, this game is not for me. I know some people love Silent Hill, and that's their style of horror, but this did not work for me at all. So this was my first and only experience with the Silent Hill franchise, and it was not a good one. I understand it's popular, it's been around for a long time, and it has its fans, but it just does not work for me. Next, we have Astrobot. This is without question the single best PlayStation 5 game that has been released to date. I absolutely love this game. And I did not expect to love this game because I criticized it. I didn't even understand how the hell this game could have won Game of the Year. But then when I got a copy and played it, I absolutely fell in love with it. I love Astrobot. It is a throwback to old school style platinum gaming. The type of gaming that I enjoyed as a kid. And just the fact that it didn't even need an extensive story, and yet it still was able to pull on my emotion strings. It had fantastic music. The platforming was challenging, but it wasn't challenging that I wanted to quit. It was the type of challenging that makes you want to keep going forward. And that is what old school gaming used to do. And that's what gaming does not do nowadays. And it was an absolutely love letter to not only old school gaming, but everything PlayStation. Not just this generation, but all generations. And that is something that I wish more games could do. And I absolutely loved it for it. So yeah, I think when it's all said and done, Astrobot will probably end up taking the title when the PlayStation 6 comes out as being my favorite PlayStation 5 game of all time. And that's something I will stick with to the day I die. But I absolutely loved it. Next, we have Rise of the Ronin. I didn't like this game. I tried to play this. I couldn't get past the first 2 hours. It felt too much like a Souls game. And I'm not big into Souls games. I mean, I think the only Souls game type game I can get through is like Star Wars, the Jedi games. But yeah, I just did not work for me. Oh, Spider-Man 2, another game I really didn't like. I think gameplay-wise it was just fine, but once I saw what the story was doing, I absolutely hated it. And it's kind of funny because I openly consider Marvel's Spider-Man to be the best comic book video game I've ever played over the Arkham games, in a sense, in a way. And then Miles Morales came, and I was like, oh, I don't want to play as Miles. And then they make a whole game around it, and then they're pushing Miles like so hard, and it felt so uncomfortable. And then again, once I saw what the story was doing to Peter's character and what it was doing with Miles, I was totally against it, and I immediately quit the game. And I'm like, this is where I'm done with this franchise, and I have no intention on playing the third game. I know that Insomniac is working on a Wolverine game, and that's something I will play, but when Marvel Spider-Man 3 comes out, I'm not even going to take a look at it. I'm not interested. Next, we have Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade, I really liked this game. I loved it. Before Astrobot, Stellar Blade was probably the best game that I played last year. I mean, this was just a fast-paced, badass hack and slash title. Great music, great visuals, great gameplay with a badass looking and hot protagonist character who may have been overly sexualized but was overly badass. I had a ton playing this multiple times. I can't recommend it enough. This was absolutely a must-own title. And the last game on my list I have is Final Fantasy 16. This is pretty high. Where would I put it? Definitely above Stellar Blade. Definitely above Horizon. Would I put it over Ratchet and Clank? Yeah, I will. Okay. I absolutely love Final Fantasy 16. This is easily a top 5 Final Fantasy of all time. It cracks the top 5. There are a number of mechanics and elements that make it the best in its department across all Final Fantasy games. I thought the soundtrack was incredible. I thought the gameplay style was magnificent. I think Clive is easily one of the best Final Fantasy main protagonists that we've had in some time. I just can't recommend it enough. And heck, even the DLC was fun. And I got all the DLCs and had a great time. So yeah, it had a lot of extra content and I easily put well over 120 hours into that game. And that's rare nowadays because when you're working 2 jobs, you don't have a lot of time. But the fact that I made time just to play this game really says a lot. So that is my tier list ranking of most of these being primarily PlayStation exclusive titles. I'm pretty sure there's some maybe I've missed, but yeah. So if you want to give it a crack at ranking these games, feel free to share your ranking in the comments down below. And like always, thank you guys for watching. You're awesome, and I'll see you next time.